What is going on? What is going on tonight? What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Big Time Show podcast that is seen live here on Facebook, that is being seen live on YouTube and on Twitter as well, and of course being heard live right now, presently on Podbean. Good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are listening over the world, actually, because of Podbean. I don't know when this podcast will be downloaded or what time, so whatever time that you're listening to this, I appreciate you just lending me your ear on this evening. Welcome to the Big Time Show podcast. It's a good night tonight. It's a good night tonight, y'all. It's a good night tonight. It's a good night tonight. Yes, it is. It's a good night because we got something hot to talk about. There's always something going on in the sports world. No question about it. I got a good crowd here. You know, I don't know what's going on, but hey. Listen, it is just great to be here tonight. Well, first of all, let me go ahead and get this out of the way. Listen, the Big Time Show podcast is being heard. The music that you heard was from my guy, Alec Winters, Alec X Winters, as you can see on your screen if you're on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. Alex X Winters on Instagram. You can hear that type of music from him. He's a young man that's from Boston in the Berkeley School of Music. He has allowed me to use his music for the podcast show, and of course, I appreciate him so much. Listen, if you have these type of social media podcast platforms, as you can see, if you have Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Tumblr, you can hear the Big Time Show podcast on those platforms as well. All you have to do is just search out the Big Time Show or just follow it. My entire catalog from my podcast is there for you. You can go back and listen to some of the stuff that I've done since August when I first started last year. You can do that. Also, listen, if you want to contribute to the show, or if you want to become a patron of the show, there it is on your screen. $ the Big Time Show. If you're on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, all you have to do is do $ the Big Time Show. And it's really just that simple. If you're on Podbean, there are several ways that you can contribute to the show. Number one, you can give me some hearts there. Don't cost no money, just a couple cents actually, but it helps me out, boost up the podcast. If you also want to become a patron of the show, you should see a button there that says on your phone or your PC that says become a patron. All you have to do is click on to that button and then just follow those simple instructions, and you can become a patron of the show. No question. Listen, tonight is just different because usually if you've been following my podcast since I first started, you know what I usually talk about, and that is the Dallas Cowboys, without a doubt. But on tonight, I'm going with something completely different for the entirety of the show. Because I know that this is, to me, a hot topic because of, the subject matter. So tonight, we're not talking Cowboy talk. Usually I would have at least about 8 to 9, 10 people and everything else there, but I don't have hardly anybody here because they already know what I'm talking about. Most people want to hear about what I have to say about the Cowboys. But tonight I'm going to my other favorite team in the whole world. I will enter into the NBA world tonight. And of course, the world champion, Los Angeles Lakers. I better start right there. First of all, it's not the Los Angeles Lakers. Get it right. It's the world champion, Los Angeles Lakers. It's a difference. It's a difference. You see, not too many teams can say nobody's number one team that can say that. You know, all these fans or whoever you want to follow, Grizzlies, whoever, Golden State, Miami Heat, Boston Celtics, whoever you want to follow, you just call them by that name. You don't call them the world champions. It's only reserved for one team, and that team is the Los Angeles Lakers. No surprise when you say the world champion Los Angeles Lakers, because no other team besides the Boston Celtics has won that many championships in franchise history other than those two teams, the Lakers and the Celtics. It's not even close between the third place team. It is the Los Angeles Lakers. No question about it. The Boston Celtics have the right to brag on it. This team is used. These teams, are used to world championships. It's no question about it. They're used to it. The Boston Celtics and the Lakers. But the Lakers are just, depending on what side of the fence you stand on, of course. The Lakers are the greatest franchise in the world, basketball-wise. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They are that. So we got to get that part straight out of the way. Now, if you're a hater, you just keep on hating. You can't dispute the facts. The Lakers is one of the greatest top two franchises to ever hold a basketball in their hand. The reason why they are like that is because of the players that they have acquired over the years. And you can't win that many championships without having great players. The Lakers have won 16 times. 16 times the world champions. And they are the defending world champions right now. You cannot have that many championships. The Celtics have 16 also. You cannot have that many championships without having great, great, great players, Hall of Fame players, great dynamic players, all-time great players. That's what the Lakers have. That's the reason why they won so much. That's the reason why they are considered one of the greatest franchise ever. Hello, Miss Ty. See you on Podbean. Hello to you. Listen, this is what it's all about. Tonight, I got to tell y'all, I was offended. I was offended tonight by what I saw on, I believe it was Twitter and Facebook. It is it was on Twitter. It was SOG Basketball. They're formerly known as a rankings kind of company where they, just get a category and make a ranking of anything about, who's the greatest shooter of all time. They have a top tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, all that kind of stuff. And certain guys are on there. They'll do that, and they'll judge other franchises and say who is the greatest and all that kind of stuff. They made that. They are based on Twitter. Again, it's SOG Basketball. You can find them on Twitter at SOG Basketball. And they had the nerve. They had the nerve the other day to make up a Los Angeles Laker hierarchy. And they separated it by tiers. And I don't know who their staff is. I don't know who their president is. I don't know who's in charge of the categories and all that kind of stuff. But I was very, very irritated by what I saw with my team. And I immediately said, look, if you want to know about the Los Angeles Lakers, come to a Laker fan. Don't look, if you're not a Laker fan, no matter what you say, my respect for the game, or I'm knowledgeable. Look, if you're going to have a Laker hierarchy, talk to people that know about the Los Angeles Lakers. Somebody should have called me. I'm just saying, somebody should have called me. That's all I'm saying. Somebody should have called me. Yeah. Because just as hard as I am for the Dallas Cowboys, I am equally as hard for the Los Angeles Lakers. That is my team. That is my franchise. It goes way back with me. It goes back to the 70s, the late 70s, with Kareem there prior to Magic Johnson coming. And of course, in the 80s, where it just all exploded, I know about, of course, 80s. So I lived it. I saw it. So I'm connected to the Lakers for the last, my goodness, 40 years. So in that process of seeing the Los Angeles Lakers, when we say 40 years, imagine the players that have come through and worn that Laker uniform in the last 40 years. It is incredible how many Hall of Famers have wore their uniform through those years. It's no question. It's just loaded. The Lakers have been loaded since the late 70s. When I say the late 70s, I'm talking about 1977 all the way up until now. And the Lakers have been loaded with talent, Hall of Fame talent for decades, for years. That's why you win so many championships at the time, because of the talent level that the Lakers have acquired. And so somebody, I don't know who it was, somebody had the audacity to put up the Los Angeles Lakers supposed hierarchy. I'm gonna go ahead and share it now because I'll be here for a minute talking about this tonight. So I hope y'all hang with me. I hope you can see that. Exactly. That's right, because they're I don't know about that buying one championship at a time, but they're used to winning. Let's just say that. In basketball in the 80s, of course, we know that the main nemesis of the Lakers were the Celtics, who were equally great in talent level, and they traded back and forth. One team will win one year and another team will win another year, and then the Lakers are on back to back and all that. And the Celtics won. They didn't do back to back, but they won. So they were just trading it off. Every year was the Lakers and the Celtics pretty much in the finals in the 80s, with the exception of maybe 1981 when Boston and Houston went there, and again in 86 when Boston and Houston went again. But other than that, it was the Lakers and the Celtics. 82 and 83 when the 76ers went there also in the finals. But it was pretty much the Lakers and the Celtics. Tonight, I want to deal with this Lakers hierarchy because, y'all don't get mad at me, but I feel like I'm qualified. Captain Jimmy, thanks for joining in. Listen, I think I'm qualified to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. If you can see this on your screen, this is what SOG came up with. This is what he came up with, as you can see on your screen there. I have to start, and there's just a few. I'm not going to get to tier 4. I'm just going to stick with tier 1, 2, and 3, because this is where a lot of Laker group. It's a group that I'm in, Facebook group, Lakers. We had some serious issues. The Laker Nation was fighting over some of this stuff. We were arguing with each other. We were upset because certain things happened, and you'll see this. I'm just going to give my opinion, and I'm going to be reading your comments as well. And let's just see if what you think about it. Now, first of all, if you're a Laker hater, you need to identify yourself. That's the first thing, because your comments, may not be warranted, to be honest with you. This really is for the Laker Nation. Like I'm not the only diehard Laker fan in this country. I know I'm not, and I know I got some Laker fans that are worse than I am, and I know that they're qualified to talk about it. But let's just deal with this, and then I'll let you guys go tonight. Listen, I'm sorry on Podbean you can't see this, but I'll read it to you. The Los Angeles Lakers, as I said, SOG basketball put it down in tiers. So they have at least 6 tiers here of who the greatest Lakers are. I don't want to deal with 6 through 4 because those are just arguments, even though there's one on tier 4 that may need a little bit more consideration. That's Pau Gasol. And I tell you that why. Listen, here's my qualifications. Number 1, to be on this list here. Number 1, you got to be an all-time great to even get on this tier. That's you got to be number 1, all-time great, and you have to be a Hall of Famer. Those are that is totally necessary. I'm also going to throw this in. You almost have to be the greatest player at that certain position that you have to play. That's part of it. SOG Basketball said this, that this Lakers hierarchy was based upon impact, total impact of the game. Not that they were the greatest players of all time, based on impact with the team. That's what this is all about, based on the impact. So this doesn't have to do with the all-time talent. This doesn't have anything to do with their talent level. It says based on the impact. In other words, when they put the Laker uniform on, their talent, of course, is involved. But what was the impact totally outside of basketball? I mean, the impact on the game. That's what they said. This is what they came up with. Tier 1. Let's just roll with it. Podbean, I'll read it to you. On Tier 1, they said the number one Los Angeles Laker ever, based on impact with the team, was Irvin Magic Johnson. Number 2, Kobe Bryant. Number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That is Tier 1. Tier 2, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, Jerry West. Okay, because I see you. I have to go back and let me do this. If you can't see it, you probably just can see the faces. Let me try to make it just a little bit bigger for you. Okay. Let's see here. That's a little bit bigger, but anyway, I'll read it to you. The Tier 2 is Shaq, LeBron James, Jerry West. Tier 3, and this is where we'll stop, Wilt Chamberlain, James Worthy, and Elgin Baylor. I'm just going to deal with that. No question, all 6 of these guys are Hall of Famers. All 6 of them. Well, one is not, but he will be, and that's LeBron James. Everybody else that I just called out is in the Hall of Fame, including Kobe is going to be enshrined in just a few weeks. Kobe Bryant will be in the Hall of Fame. So all 6 of these guys will be in the Hall of Fame. Talent level, Magic Johnson has to be, that's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, E-Kush, I'm sorry. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Let me go back so you can just look at it real quick. I'm trying to make it as big as I can. There you go. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Based on impact, Kareem is Magic Johnson considered to be the greatest point guard of all time. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, when we talk about Kobe is pretty much universally considered to be the second greatest 2 guard to ever play, only behind Michael Jordan. Kareem arguably is the greatest center to ever play the game. Shaquille O'Neal arguably, again, is the greatest center to ever play the game. LeBron James, I don't think that right now there should be any question now that LeBron James is the greatest small forward to ever play the game. I think he's there now. Jerry West. Jerry West is not considered to be the greatest 2 guard, but again, this list is based off of impact with the team. Wilt Chamberlain is considered by some to be the greatest center to ever play the game. James Worthy, not considered the greatest, but a dynamic player in the Hall of Fame. Elgin Baylor is one of the greatest players ever to play the game. He just cannot get the credit he deserves because he never won championships. Everybody else that I called out won championships. I want to show you the arguments that we have and my problem with this top tier 1 through 3. Here it is. 1, Magic Johnson should be there as the number 1 Laker of all time based off impact on the team. No question. No question. On the Lakers, not career. On impact on this team, the Los Angeles Lakers. Nobody's had the impact that Magic Johnson has had. On the court, off the court, is no question. Kobe Bryant, same thing. 20 years playing with one team. 5 championships. Magic Johnson, 5 championships. Impact on the team. Kobe kept people at the Staples Center packed, even when the Lakers were losing. He was just that special. Kareem, 6 championships, 5 with the Lakers, 1 with Milwaukee. The greatest scorer to ever play in this game. Still has the record. Impact with the team. The only reason why there's going to be a slight argument with Kareem there is because most people will say, well, he wasn't winning when Magic won there. Or he wasn't winning when Jamal Wilkes wasn't there, Norm Nixon and James Worthy, and the list go on, all the great players. Some people will argue that and want to replace him with Shaquille O'Neal. Let me tell y'all something. I ain't got no problem with tier 1, except this. I think there should be a room for 4 people. And I think Shaquille O'Neal needs to be on tier 1 based off impact with the game. When Shaq came here from Orlando, championships followed. I don't have to tell y'all. Y'all know, if you know anything about basketball. Throw a 3-peat with Kobe Bryant. 3 championships in a row. He won 3 in a row. Changed the whole landscape with the Los Angeles Lakers. He made a tremendous impact. All right. Plus, he played a lot of years. Magic Johnson played over, good Lord, how many years did he play with the Lakers? Bam. Kobe, 20 years. Kareem, over 20, right at 20 years. Shaq, over 8 or 9 years. Jerry West, years and years with the Lakers. He only won 1 championship. But based off the impact that he had as a great player and a champion, he deserves to go up there. He deserves as a player. Now, as a general manager, Jerry West deserves to be right at the top because he's one of the greatest general managers ever to do it. But as a player, Jerry West, of course, the logo, he is the logo. He should be there, no question. LeBron James ain't got no business being there at all. Now, this is where the arguments start. I'm just gonna tell y'all. Number 1, what he did at Cleveland and Miami don't mean nothing. Not with the Lakers. Your record at Cleveland and Miami does not mean anything when you put on the Laker uniform. The graphic said based off the impact with the team. LeBron James ain't been with the Lakers but 3 years. Oh, I know he won a championship. I get that. I get that. I'm not arguing with that. I'm a Laker fan. He deserves credit, no question. But to be only played 3 years with the Lakers, and the first year they didn't make the playoffs. He won, of course, when he got AD. And now he's back here now, battling because of injury, trying to make it to the playoffs. But make no mistake about it, he ain't been here long enough with us to even be on this level. He has had impact. I mean, look. I'm not LeBron. Wherever he goes, championships follow. They followed in Cleveland, they followed in Miami, and they followed here in LA. I'm not taking it from him. He's great. He's the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest small forward to ever play the game. But he don't deserve to be on this list here. No. He ain't been here long enough. No. No. And to see some of these names that are below him, some of these guys, it's like, I mean, I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but if you go down to tier 5, what is Anthony Davis doing on the list? Why is he there? What? I mean, come on now. Why is Anthony Davis on tier 5? He just got here from New Orleans. He ain't really unpacked his bags. You don't get that type of respect. Not in Lakerland. I mean, and he has a championship. I get it. But LeBron James, Cleveland and Miami don't count. It don't count here. It says based off the impact with this team, this organization. LeBron James, as great as he is, does not deserve to be on this list. He does not. And the LeBron lovers who are going to watch this a little bit later on, and the LeBron fanatics, I may have some on Podbean by now. I don't know. I'm looking at, hey, Xavier, thanks for joining in. Listen, the list is saying, I'm going back to tier 1 and tier 2. Podbean, I'm sorry, you cannot see this. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, man. Here come the LeBron lovers. Okay, y'all. My wife done joined on here now. She said, do I remember what the Laker record was before he came? The players that came because of him, the impact. How can we dispute what Jenny Buss said, top 5? The king, LeBron James. See, my wife is a LeBron James lover, okay? And what she said is true. When LeBron came, guys want to play with him. They wanted to play with him in Cleveland. They wanted him to play in Miami. Get LeBron, when he leaves, when LeBron goes, people want to play with him because 9 times out of 10, this guy is either going to win the championship or he's either going to be in the finals. That's LeBron James' record. If he hadn't win, I'm not disputing none of that. Jeannie Buss says that LeBron James is a top 5 Laker of all time. I disagree. You can't. It's just like me saying this. It's just like Tom Brady, who won the Super Bowl last year with Tampa Bay. And some folks will want to anoint him as the greatest Tampa Bay Buccaneer of all time. He ain't played but 1 year there. Is Tom Brady the greatest Tampa Bay Buccaneer of all time? Please don't insult Warren Sapp like that. Please don't insult Derek Brooks like that. Please don't insult John Lynch like that. Guys who played for years and are in the Hall of Fame and have played 1 time. No, this is almost the same equivalent. It's the same equivalent of exactly. I'm trying you because I got to go back to football. I just hope you understand that analogy. I can't give Brady that type of respect saying he's the greatest Buccaneer. I give him respect saying he's the greatest Patriot of all time. But you ain't been with Tampa but 1 year. LeBron ain't been in Lakerland for 3 years. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. I'm talking about 3 years. He got 1 championship. That's great. That's great. But to say that he's the 5th greatest Laker of all time, eliminate the Cleveland and Miami of volumes in this. No, ma'am, no, sir. No, this is the Laker land. I'm sorry. I guess the next thing they're gonna be saying he deserves a statue outside. Huh? I guess they're gonna say he deserves, and I guess they're gonna say he deserves to have his number in the rafters next. I you know I I might give him the number in the rafters. I might give that to him. I might give that to him. I really would. I think I believe he deserves to have some recognition for having his jersey retired as a Laker. He's going to be probably the first player to have 3 numbers retired. Okay, I give it that. My wife is a Laker fan. As you can, I mean, she's not a Laker fan. She's a LeBron fan, and she's saying that he's gonna have a statue when it's all over. So, and I'm going to assume, based off that statement, that there's still more work to do. 3 years, there's no way. When you look at this list right here, and you can't even see tier 6 because I tried to widen it up for some of y'all. I'm just really sticking with tier 1 and 2 and 3 tonight. When you see some of these names that are on this list, I don't see how you can put LeBron James. I'll just show you right now. Impact on the team, 3 years compared to Wilt Chamberlain's years as a Laker. What? Huh? What? 3 years compared to Wilt's years as a Laker. And you gonna sit and tell me Jeannie Buss or whoever else that LeBron's 3 years is better than Wilt Chamberlain's years as a Los Angeles Laker? Even though Wilt was on the downside of his career, the impact on it. What? Are you kidding me? I'm insulted tonight. I'm insulted by that. Shaquille O'Neal was upset about this. Shaquille O'Neal thinks he's supposed to be in the top on the top tier. The argument could be made that I think they should have put 4 of them up there. Shaquille should have been up there. The only reason why Kareem does not get the real respect that he deserves is simply because Kareem was quiet. He wasn't flashy. He was not, boisterous. He was not flashy like Magic was. Kareem just put that sky hook on you and kill you. He didn't say nothing, really show a lot of emotion. If Kareem had any type of flash, folks would look. It's almost kind of like Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward to ever play. But we don't talk about Tim Duncan because he was so quiet. He never was flashy. But Tim was killing people. Tim is the greatest power forward to ever play. But he's not flashy like Kobe and Michael and Magic was. He's not flashy. That's how Kareem was. Kareem is the greatest scorer of all time. 6 MVPs. 6 MVPs. Finals MVPs. 20-year All-Star team. I mean, greatest scorer ever to play. Kareem deserves to be there. Some folks were saying that Kareem need to move down. No way. I think you just need to add Shaq to that top tier. Because Shaq had that kind of impact. I think it's insulting to have LeBron on there, as great as he is, but he only been there 3 years. You gonna tell me, come on now. You somebody, and I get it. I get it. I get it. You gonna tell me that LeBron James' years as a Laker, 3 years, is better than James Worthy's years as a Los Angeles Laker? Are you kidding me? You got to be crazy. I don't care what look. No. I ain't talking about the player. LeBron James is the greatest small forward to ever play the game. He has surpassed Larry Bird. I believe he's the greatest small forward to ever play this game. But are you serious and tell me that 3 years, 1 championship, One missed playoff the first year because he got hurt. And this year we battling for the last spot. We battling trying to get in the play-in tournament because of injuries again. And you're going to sit here and tell me that LeBron's 3 years is better than James Worthy's years in Los Angeles? No. I got a problem with this list. I think it's insulting. It's insulting. Somebody made an argument. Now, I didn't agree with this one, but I understood the premise where it was coming from. Somebody said, look, that Derek Fisher needs some more respect. Now, Derek Fisher, what's up? Yeah. I mean, thank you, JD. Yeah. Wilt doesn't get his love. I understand he wasn't in LA long enough, but in my opinion, Wilt's at least top 3 of all time. There's a lot of evidence to back it up. Different eras, JD. I get it. Different time. Wilt was just flat out dominant. But you got to keep in mind, we're not talking about the career. This list was talked about based off the impact on the franchise. In other words, their years in Los Angeles. So we can't count Wilt Chamberlain's years in Philadelphia. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the Wilt Chamberlain that came a little bit later in his career. He was not the same player. He still was great, but he was not the dominant guy that he was in Philadelphia. We're talking about 1972 and his little time with the Lakers. He was dominant, but he wasn't like he was in Philly. As a matter of fact, he had to have a lot of help. Gail Goodrich, who's on this list at tier 4. Jerry West, of course, was there. They only won 1 championship. Only 1. That's because they were running to the Celtics all those years. And Lord knows the Celtics won look like every year. So you got to have one more than 1 championship. You only won 1 here. And the argument could be made that James Worthy should be based off the impact on the team now. Based off the impact, an argument could be made that James Worthy should be ahead of Wilt. I had a real problem with this. But the placement of LeBron as a top 5 Laker of all time, based off the impact of this team, I can't get it there. I just and if you're a Laker fan, like I said, the Laker world was arguing about this, and I felt like I had to bring it to the forefront here on the podcast. I just can't see. I can't give LeBron that type of reverence. I just can't. I can't. And it's not knocking him. It's just you ain't been here long enough. You only been there with Los Angeles 3 years. There's no way you can. There's no way. Hey, Zay. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't catch your comment. Let me go to Podbean. Podbean is talking. Xavier says if that's the case, KD. Let me say, don't forget about Ronnie Ball when I was talking about the Buccaneers. You're right, Xavier. He said if that's the case, KD deserves a statue at OKC, Golden State, and Brooklyn. Zay, let me tell you the case. Let me say this about KD since you just said that. That possibly could happen. He was great at OKC. He gonna get his jersey retired there. He was great at Golden State. He's gonna get his jersey retired there. And depending on what he does in Brooklyn, there's a real good chance it's gonna happen there too. So that has some thing. What about Patrick Ewing? Well, we talking about the Lakers, Zay. Then he said, what about Robert Horry? Robert Horry is on this list, Zay. He's on this list, but he's down at tier 5. And the way they got it said, this is why it's insulting. Let me just read y'all tier 5. It's 5 players on tier 5. Y'all check this out. They got Jamal Wilkes, and all these guys are in order. And this was insulting. Jamal Wilkes, then Derek Fisher, then Anthony Davis, then Robert Horry, and then Byron Scott. That's insulting. That's insulting. AD does not deserve to be above Robert Horry and Byron Scott. Now, some of y'all not catching me because you're basing it off talent-wise. Talent-wise, Anthony Davis is more talented than Robert Horry and Byron Scott and Derek Fisher and probably Jamal Wilkes. But he's only been here 2 years. 2 years. And you're going to sit and tell me that he has had more impact on this team than Robert Horry and Byron Scott? Huh? See, we're prisoners of the moment. I think that's what the problem is. That we're prisoners of the moment. Listen, if you liking the show, this probably be the last time I say it. My cash app is $, the Big Time Show. If you're on Podbean, you already know what to do. The hearts, to become a patron, and all that. Just do that for me, and if you like it, and share this if you can. If you're on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, share it if you can. JD says people get caught up in the now times a lot. Exactly. But we don't went completely crazy with LeBron and AD. I'm just gonna go and tell you. I'm just saying, there's no way that 2 or 3 years can override James Worthy. There's no way that 2 or 3 years in AD's case can override Robert Horry and Byron Scott. I can't give that. I can't give that. In Lakerland, you got to earn it. Now, when you win a championship like LeBron and AD did, that makes you good with us. You're a Laker. And I'm not the greatest LeBron James fan. If you've been following me for a long time, you should already know. I am not a LeBron James lover. I couldn't stand him in Cleveland. I ain't say he was not great now. I just was not a fan of him. The reason why I couldn't stand LeBron James, if you remember, they used to do them little dolls, LeBron and Kobe was still making the finals, and it was acting like LeBron is on his way, never made it there. But they wanted to say he was the king. And I'm trying to say, how in the world are you the king when Kobe got the trophy still in his hand? You can't be the king if you ain't got no crown. And the crown belonged to Kobe Bryant. That's what I'm saying. I had a problem with it. I didn't like him in Miami because I knew he couldn't win by himself, and he had to go get some help. And he won. I give him his credit. He did win. And he was a major, major factor. He was dominant in Miami. Yes, he was. I give him his credit. When he came to LA, oh my God. I was happy because despite of what I felt, LeBron James was the greatest player in the game at that particular time. And I knew that people would want to come to LA, and usually with LeBron, a championship usually follows. And right on cue, we won the title last year. And without LeBron James, there would not have been a title won. We're seeing that now. You see what happened right now when LeBron is not in the game. The Lakers are nowhere to be found. So the impact is there. I just can't give them impact for 2-3 years past some of the guys that's on this list, as you can see. Jerry West, a lot of people, I saw the argument there. It was a lot of people arguing that Jerry West should be above LeBron James as a top 5 Laker. And LeBron maybe should have been at 6 or 7, but there's a lot of people that got upset about Jerry West. Now, I had to ask my daddy about Jerry West because I was too young. I wasn't even born yet for a lot of it. I don't know nothing about Jerry West. I seen highlights. I saw Magic. I saw LeBron. I mean, I seen LeBron. I saw Kobe and Kareem. I saw Shaq. I don't have to ask nobody about them. I know what they did. I need some help with Wilt and Jerry West. I was born in 1973, so obviously I have to depend on highlights. So I can't speak to Jerry West. I had to ask my dad about him, but LeBron ain't been there long enough. He just haven't. He just haven't. He just haven't. I'm sorry. He just have not. You just can't come in and just be the Lakers. Do y'all see these players? I mean, look at this list. Look at these guys. A whole lot of them are on the wall or in the rafters. Huh? I just can't give it to him. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. If he wins this year, if he wins 2 championships at his age, okay, what you're seeing now is his body starting to break down. That's all what's going on with LeBron. His body is starting to break down. He's getting hurt a whole lot easier now than he did before. It is what it is. If he wins another championship at this age, then I may need to revisit this. Yeah, I see Tex. Hey, Tex. Hey, how about the count? Yeah, just more of a clutch player than LeBron. But Tex, I'm sorry you don't see what I have on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. That was a Twitter by, maybe you can look it up. It was by at SOG Basketball. SOG Basketball on Twitter. And what they did was give the Los Angeles Lakers hierarchy. And it was not based off total talent. It was based off of impact with the team or impact with the organization. Impact with the organization, not talent. Impact with the organization. In other words, you're judging LeBron based off his time with the Lakers. The Cleveland and Miami years is not even in this equation at all. We're not even talking about that. We're talking about his 3 years with the Los Angeles Lakers. And based off of that chart that they have tier 1. The tier 1 Lakers are Magic, Kobe, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. At tier 2, they had Shaquille O'Neal, then LeBron, and then Jerry West. My argument tonight is LeBron shouldn't even be on that second tier at all. He ain't put enough time in a Laker uniform to even be in the top 5. Janet Buss, who is the Los Angeles Lakers president, is the one that said that LeBron James is the top 5. Now, I disagree with our president. I disagree with Jenny Buss. My argument also is that Shaquille O'Neal, based off impact with the team, my argument also is that there should have been a 4th guy on that tier 1, and that should have been Shaquille. So in my opinion, it should have been Magic, Kobe, Kareem, and Shaq. Shaq had that type of impact on this team, on this organization. He has his traits. Not only that he 100% does not have those guys roster. Yeah, exactly. But based off of impact of the team, LeBron has not, those 3 years are not on the same level with, some of these guys. It's just like on tier 3, they had James Worthy after that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like LeBron James 3 years are better than James Worthy's years, all those years at the Lakers. That's my whole argument. There's nowhere in the world you can tell me that LeBron James 3 years of only one did he win the title. He missed the playoffs his first year. He was hurt. Right now, the Lakers are battling for the play-in tournament. And there's nowhere in the world you can tell me that his years with the Lakers are better than James Worthy's years with the Lakers. There's no way you can tell. There's just no way. No way. I got a serious disagreement with that. That's an insult to James Worthy. Some folks will say about Wilt. Wilt was on the decline, as I said before. Wilt was on the decline. He was on the decline. The Lakers only won one championship when Wilt was there. They kept running to the Celtics, kept getting beat. They only won one. I might can give a little argument with LeBron and Wilt thing, even though they got Wilt above LeBron. Okay, I don't know if Wilt really. Well, yeah, Wilt deserves to be there, no question. I almost spoke blasphemy right then. Wilt deserves to be there, but and to make it worse, AD and the Davis is down on tier 6. I know y'all can't see it, Podbean, but they got AD above Robert Orr and Byron Scott. And the Davis ain't been with the Lakers but 2 years. You gonna sit and tell me that his 2 years is more impactful than Robert Orr's years with the Lakers and Byron Scott's years with the Lakers? Come on now. 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 That's blasphemy. That's blasphemy. And and like I said, I'm qualified to talk about this. I'm a Laker fan. All my life. Laker fan. I see you, JD. With Wilt there. No question. But I don't want y'all guys to get it confused tonight because I'm not talking about career. Now, we were talking about career-wise. If you add in all the other teams, then, of course, LeBron deserves to be up there. No question about it. If we talking career, add in his Cleveland, Miami years with the Lakers, then, yes, LeBron deserves to be up there. Matter of fact, he might go past Shaq. He might go past. I can't put him past Kareem. I can't put him past Kareem. He might go past Shaq. That's about it. If you do that, I give it to you. But LeBron, 3 years with the Lakers is not better than James Worthy's years as the Los Angeles Lakers. That's insulting. It's insulting to James. It's insulting. Maybe we could see the Lakers with young Bron. Oh man, yeah. If he was, can we look at the other guys' age differences? A text says that the only age that you can compare him to as a Laker would be well, I can't compare because he won when he was older. He won. But he's on the downside of his career. Wilt was on the downside of his career when he came to the Lakers, and he was not the same dominant guy that he was in Philadelphia, but he still was Wilt Chamberlain. So you still had much respect on his name. It's just not, you got to keep in mind, he's getting old, but LeBron did win now. I mean, look, he won. I mean, as old as he is, he's a world champion. So we can't take that from him. Tig said when LeBron becomes the Cowboys tight end and becomes a Pro Bowler, I'll say he's the best. Well, we know that ain't gonna happen, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, Tommy, what's up, man? Yeah. We talking Lakers tonight. We ain't talking Cowboys tonight. I'll be with you on Saturday. We'll talk about it on Saturday. But tonight, I'm really irritated. I'm irritated by this chart that I see and this blasphemy that I saw when you started talking about the impact on a team, the impact on this organization, the impact, not the talent level, the impact on this organization. And I have a hard time giving LeBron and AD that type of credit that they're getting. You know, an argument could be made as I'm looking at it again. An argument could be made that AD should go be the last one on the list if you're looking at it, behind Byron Scott. An argument could be made. For real. Thomas says the Lakers won't win this year. Okay, well, you better hope they don't get 100. Well, they ain't gonna never be 100% healthy. LeBron's ankle is not right, but 80% LeBron James or 90% LeBron James can get the job done. That's the only thing I'm gonna say about it. They can get the job done. So the only thing I say, if they get any little sense of health on this team, look out. And we're not talking career-wise. I said I got to keep saying that because you'll get it confused. We're talking about impact on this organization, total, on the court, off the court, et cetera, et cetera. LeBron James should not be above James Worthy. He ain't been here for 3 years. There's just no way. It was insulting. I see a lot of your comments on there. I'm coming to them because I'm done with it. Y'all guys, Blake move aside. That's what Tech says. Yeah. I agree 100%. That's really all I want to tell you guys tonight. I had to deal with this because I had a problem with it. I've been arguing with Laker family on chat groups when we first saw this. I've been arguing for the last 2-3 days. I said I had to bring it to the podcast show and see what some of my Laker brothers and sisters feel about it. But I'm surrounded by Laker haters. Tommy is on here. He obviously is a Laker hater. You can tell that just by his comments. On Podbean, I don't know who else. Yeah, see, Bumblebee just came in. They're a Spurs fan. So, all y'all Laker haters, you're really unqualified really to talk about this, because you're not a Laker. We're getting real in depth here. You Laker haters, hey, go Spurs, go, okay, well, Spurs were a great dynasty. Ain't no question about that. I will give you that, Bumblebee. They were great. No doubt about it. I'll give you do. We ain't talking about that. I wish I could put this picture for you to see, Podbean. I wish I could do that. And I cannot because they don't allow that on there. I wish I could so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, no problem, Bumblebee. Yeah. Are you from Texas, Bumblebee? Are you from Texas? Are you from the San Antonio area? Is that where you're listening to me from right now? I'm just curious. I appreciate you guys that are on Podbean checking me out, hanging with me. Thank you so much for doing that. Hope that you guys will tune in with me on Saturday at 3 p.m. I'm going back to Cowboy land. We talking more Cowboys. I'm really from Texas, but not live in Cali. Oh my goodness. Oh, what part of California do you live in, Xay? Are you a Spurs fan, Xay? I was really talking to Bumblebee. Are you a Laker? Were you in Cali? Are you a Laker fan, Xay 82? Are you a Laker fan, or are you affiliated with the Houston Rockets, or are you a San Antonio Spurs fan? Oh, you in Sacramento. Oh, you're a Spurs fan. Okay. Oh, well then I know you don't like the Lakers. I don't know. I know you don't like the Lakers. There ain't no doubt about that. I know you don't. Oh, you don't mind the Lakers. Okay. Well, Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, Xavier. I don't like the Spurs. I give them credit. Tim Duncan hurt me on many a nights. That's all I'm gonna say. Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, they hurt me. So I had a problem with the Spurs. I did. I had a real problem with the Spurs. So I'm not a Spurs lie. I couldn't stand them. They were great. I give them the credit. They were great, but I couldn't stand it. I just don't see how people. I don't see. We're prisoners of the moment. Now I'll be the first to come back on here and say this: that if LeBron and AD pull this one off, or they win next year, if they pull it off, one more championship, I am gonna have to revisit this whole thing because you just said certain things you just cannot deny. Okay, LeBron's legacy is already set. Okay, his Laker legacy, however, just don't match his career. You can't be in the Los Angeles Laker uniform for 3 years and be anointed as a top 5 Laker of all time. You just cannot. That's just not right. Well, what's up? My Fred done joined in. Thank you, Fred. My Nuke done joined in now. I got my fraternity brother in. I see you, how I cannot. I look. I thank LeBron. I thank him, even though I'm not one of his greatest fans. I thank him for coming to Los Angeles, and I'm the type that's worried about the name on the front of the jersey, not the name on the back. I thank him for coming to Lakerland. He did what he said he was gonna do. He said he was gonna win the championship in Los Angeles. He did it. I cannot argue with it. I can't argue with it. But this list that I'm looking at, that's insulting. You ain't put the time in. That 3 years, you can't be a top 5 Los Angeles Lakers. You might get away with that mess at Orlando and Memphis Grizzlies and the Sacramento Kings and my God, the Minnesota Timberwolves. You can get away with that stuff over there. In Lakerland, though, top 5 Laker of all time. According to this thing here, the Jenny Bus signed off on. No, not in Lakerland. No, sir. No, ma'am. Tell me, do I bet I'm a Yankees fan? No, actually, I like the Cubs. I like the Cubs. I don't know. Ask me how I like the Cubs. But no, top 5 Laker of all time. 3 years, all he's played. 3 years. And he's a top 5 Laker of all time. No. You can't convince me that LeBron James 3 years is better than James Worthy's years in Los Angeles. You can't convince me of that. I don't care what y'all say. There's no way. That's an insult to James Worthy. A Hall of Famer, too, I may add. 5 times, or we say 82 on the team, 82, 85, 87, 88. 4 championships for James Worthy. 4. And please don't tell me, well, look who he played with. He played with Kareem. He played with Magic. Look who LeBron played with. I don't want to hear that. You cannot tell me that James Worthy's years as a Los Angeles Lakers is not better than LeBron's 3 years. It's an insult. It is. That's really all I wanted to say. I'm not saying LeBron is not great. He is great. Who put it out? Tommy G. Go to Twitter. It's at SOG basketball. All capital letter. SOG basketball. If they're on Twitter, they got a lot of stuff out. Who's the greatest? They have a tier 1, 2, and 3 greatest 3-point shooters of all time. And I guess they go to other organizations like that. And I don't know who made up the list, but they should have just only had Laker fans in there, knowledgeable Laker fans who have seen most of these guys play. Like I said, and as far as the top 1, 2, or 3 there, the only people that I did not see play with my own eyes, I seen highlights. The only 2 players I didn't see was Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain. That's the only 2 that I didn't see play. I saw Magic, Kobe, Kareem, Shaq, and LeBron. I saw that. I seen them. So I'm quite all the rest of these guys that you see. I didn't see Gail Goodrich. Of course, I didn't see George Mikan. I saw Paul Gasol. I saw Robert Ory. I saw Michael. Is that Michael Cooper? Is that Michael Cooper? I saw Jamal Wilkes. I saw Derek Fisher. I saw Byron Scott. I'm qualified to talk about this. Plus, I'm a Laker fan. I mean, all my life. I don't know no other team. I don't know where you live at. I live in Memphis. You're not a Grizzly fan? No. I'm not a Grizzly fan. I'm not cheering against them. Bumblebee said I named my youngest son Ginobili. That's a Spurs fan. I agree. James ain't top 5 Laker. He is not. He is not. And just because I'm saying he's not does not mean that I am a hater. I ain't really just love LeBron like it. I respect him for what he's done for the Lakers. I'm not just a gigantic fan of him, never have been. But like I said before, as I said before earlier, it's almost the equivalent of Tom Brady, who won the Super Bowl with Tampa last year, and to have somebody get up there and say Tom Brady is the greatest Tampa Bay Buccaneer of all time. And that's like an insult to Derrick Brooks, an insult to Warren Sapp, an insult to John Lynch, an insult to Leroy Jordan. I mean, it's an insult to say that Brady is the greatest Tampa Bay Buccaneer of all time. He's the greatest Patriot of all time. I'll give you that. He's not the greatest Tampa Bay Buccaneer of all time, not in 1 year, even though he won the Super Bowl. That's the same thing with LeBron James. He ain't played for 3 years. And you only won once. You missed the playoffs the first year. And we battling for this last spot. And I realize injuries are a part of that. I get that. But you can't sell those 3 years and match them up to James Worthy and say that his years are better. No. On impact with the team, on impact with guys coming, James Worthy was not the man with the Lakers at the time. And people then, when they came to LA, they say, hey, I want to play with James Worthy. No, they came and say, I want to play with Magic. Well, I give LeBron credit for that. When the people want to come to LA, they say, I want to play with LeBron. Now, if you base that as impact, which it is, I had to get a nod to LeBron in that area. No doubt about that. I give him that. He's the man. But he's not. My God. Come on now. James Worthy? What? No. So, y'all, I'm quite sure some folks that will disagree. I get it, and I understand, and depending on what kind of Laker fan you are, if you're a Laker fan that were born in the 2000s, of course you're gonna say LeBron deserves to be up there. Matter of fact, you'll probably say LeBron probably supposed to be up there with Kobe. Just depending on when you were born. If all you seen is if you were born in the 2000s. The only thing you really know is LeBron James because he's the greatest player of this generation. No doubt about that. And that's all you know. You didn't see Magic play. You saw the old Kobe. You saw Kobe. If you didn't see Kobe in 2009 2010, you don't really know the greatness of Kobe Bryant. If you were born in 2012 and on up, you saw the downside of Kobe Bryant. You didn't see the greatness. He still was great. You didn't see what we saw. You didn't see it. If all you saw was LeBron from 2000 up, then I understand why you feel that way. You didn't see Shaquille O'Neal, the monster that he was. You didn't get to see. You most certainly didn't see Magic Johnson. Oh my God! If you were born in this 2000s, you didn't see that. You didn't see Kareem. You didn't see that. So I understand. It's like prisoner of the moment. It's kind of like saying, people that see boxing, they'll say Floyd Mayweather, the greatest fighter. If you've been watching boxing since 2004 or 5, you might say Floyd is the greatest. But for all us that saw Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran and Tommy Hearns and Roy Jones Jr., these guys, if we saw, you'll be laughing and saying, man, Floyd Mayweather can't hold a candle to these guys. It all depends on what you saw. But I also got the element of common sense. There's no way in the world that you can tell me LeBron James 3 years was better than James Worthy's years in Los Angeles. There is no way. Who is my top 5? Lakers. Based off, I'm going to stick Bumblebee with what the Twitter thing said. Based off impact with the team. Based off impact with the team, my top 5 is this. Magic Johnson, without a doubt. Number 1. Kobe Bryant, 2. Kareem, 3. I almost want to say Kareem a 3A and Shaq a 3B. That's what I almost want to say, but I guess you might say 4 with Shaq. Number 5, based off impact with the team and the talent level and playing, I almost got to go. It's a toss-up, man, with number 5 to me. It's got to be, you pick your choice. It's either Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, or Wilt Chamberlain. And then, and Worthy probably comes right after that. And then maybe LeBron. Based off impact. Based off impact with the team and winning. Maybe that. But I can't give a pass guys who done played 10 plus years with the Lakers and won. James Worthy got 4 rings on his finger with the Lakers. There's no way. Elgin Baylor did not win at all. So that's a knock against him. Jerry West won 1 championship. But Jerry West, according to the highlights, Jerry West is the logo. Jerry West is considered one of the greatest ever to do it. And he played all those years with the Lakers. You just can't knock that. Wilt Chamberlain is Wilt Chamberlain. I ain't got to say nothing about that. We all know what Wilt did. I can't give LeBron that type of respect. I just can't do it. I can't. I'm sorry. And people and LeBron apologists are gonna want to kill me for this, and they like it. Some are gonna say I ain't a Laker fan. No, I'm just keeping it real. Just keeping it real. LeBron don't deserve to be on that top tier, that second tier at all. I said it. I don't care if you like it or not. I said it. It is what it is. That's how I feel about it. Podbean, I appreciate you guys. Let me see. Okay, I misread that. That was earlier. I don't know how many people are still on here with me. Let me see who on here. I see Miss Ty still with me. Zave's here, Bumblebee is here, Tex here. the Ralph Williams podcast. Ralph Williams, have you listened before? I don't know who you are, but welcome to the podcast. I appreciate you popping in. Have you listened to me before, Ralph? Okay. But hey, thank you. Appreciate all of you. Listen, why don't you follow the show if you want to contribute? Just you can contribute just by following the show. Turn on the lights. Check me out. I'm primarily a sports primarily a sports podcast. I pretty much 95% of the time, probably 99%. I'm sorry. I'm talking Dallas Cowboys. That's my other team. And I'll get back to that on Saturday. I couldn't help myself. I had to talk about this with my other favorite team, which is the Lakers. I am equally as invested into the Lakers as I am with the Cowboys, and I had to talk about this. I couldn't stand it. I appreciate LeBron, but he don't deserve that type of respect. I'm sorry, he just don't. He just don't. I got irritated by it. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm really subdued right now. I'm really cool right now. When I first saw this list, I said, "Who made this list up? Were they drunk when they made this list up? Somebody was drinking some nice cognac. Somebody was drinking some nice cognac when all this when they made this list up. Somebody had to be, because there's just no way. There's just no way that they could make this list up. Somebody was drinking. Somebody had a nice look. I don't know what they drink. Some strong stuff. They weren't drinking no wine. The wine would have been too light. You still can think. I'm talking about somebody had some shot glasses and just drinking, and they drank at least 7 of them. At least. I don't know what they had in it. Whiskey. Everclear. Some of y'all a little bit too young for that. Maybe it's Hennessy shots, Jägermeister shots. Somebody was drinking something, because somebody messed up. Somebody messed up. My wife only telling me to stop it. She laughing at me. Somebody was doing something. I don't know who made this list up. Somebody need to call me, a true diehard Laker fan that knows and have seen this organization for over 30 years and know who's supposed to be up there. Somebody should have called me. I'm serious, because I don't know what happened. I didn't like the disrespect to James Worthy. That hurt my heart. Don't disrespect James Worthy. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Somebody messed up. Probably somebody. Y'all laughing. Yeah. Oh Lord, yeah. I'm serious. Somebody didn't. Maybe the people, the analysts were, in their early 20s. Maybe that's what it was. If you're in your early 20s, then all you know is LeBron James. That's all you know. You don't know nothing else. You don't know. You didn't feast your eyes on Kobe and Magic and Kareem and James Worthy and the guys before that. That's all you see is LeBron. That's all you know. I can't knock it. Because people were saying that about Magic Johnson when I was a kid. They're like, man, y'all think Magic this, man. Y'all didn't see Dr. J. Y'all didn't see Wilt and the Iceman, George Gervin. Yeah, they guy can't play with them. They were saying the same thing about us. When everybody say Shaquille O'Neal is the greatest center, everybody saying, man, y'all didn't see Bill Russell and you didn't see Wilt Chamberlain. You crazy. Shaq can't hold a cut. That's what they said. See, it's all about generations. But I don't care what generation you from. Ain't nowhere in the world you can tell me LeBron James 3 years is better than James Worthy's almost 10 years with the Lakers. There's just no way you can tell me that. And James Worthy won 4 championships. Come on, no. James Worthy was an all-star every year. James Worthy's in the Hall of Fame. We ain't talking about no jabroni type player. We talking about a legitimate tear you to pieces on the basketball court. Impact. There's no way you can tell me that. Now I give LeBron the global thing, and I guess if that's what your standard is, if you want to tell me LeBron is a household name, or one name and everybody know who it is, you just say LeBron, the whole world know it. If I say James, folks gonna say James who? James Evans off Good Times, or James, it's a lot of James. But if you say LeBron, anywhere in this civilized world, everybody's gonna point to LeBron James. Hey, Miss Tony, I see you. I get that. I give you that for impact. I give you that to say that when people want to come to Los Angeles, most of people are saying they want to play with LeBron. I give you that. James Worthy can't hold a candle to LeBron James in that area. I give you that. But it's just 3 years. It's just 3 years. 3 years. Oh, I don't know why my brain messed up. Is that Tommy or Tony? I'm sorry, Tony. My bad. I'm messing up tonight. I know who you are. Forgive my brain tonight. Maybe I had a sip with the Lakers analysts. Look, maybe I had the same thing they had when they made this list up. I don't know. They just somebody need to come talk to me. Look, and let me put this out. Since Podbean is being heard all over the world, I got somebody from Cali listening. Xavier 82. Since you're in California and you close to the Los Angeles Lakers, I think you say you stay in Sacramento. Okay. If you're in Sacramento, I need you to do me a favor, because you close to LA. Just if you ever travel to LA, do me a favor. Just write down a letter and tell them, just drop it off at the Staples Center. And tell the Los Angeles Lakers, look, if you want to have a list with the Lakers, y'all find Big Time down there in Memphis, Tennessee, and let him tell y'all who the list ought to be. Don't ask Jenny Buss. Jenny Buss worried about keeping LeBron happy. That's why she said that. That's why she said brought LeBron in. She know LeBron ain't got no business up there. She know it. Her daddy would disagree. God bless his soul. Her daddy, who was the owner there, she know. LeBron is not supposed to be up there. She's just trying to keep LeBron happy. That's all it is. I can't stand it. Y'all, I need you to do that for me. Say, if you're in Sacramento, some kind of way, get down there and tell them that come talk to me. I will tell them who the Laker fan. I'm qualified to talk about it. Don't nobody need to talk. It's too many players. It's too much greatness for a non-Laker person to make up this list. Laker fans should only make up this list. Laker haters cannot be involved in this. Only diehard Laker fans are qualified to talk about this list, other than the players themselves. That's just the truth. It's just the truth. It's too much greatness in this organization history for a list. You can't have no mess ups. Not on this list. Oh, okay. My wife on here, as I said before, if you're on Facebook, my wife is a diehard LeBron James fan. She's not a Laker fan, okay? But she didn't like the Lakers when Kobe was winning. She's not a Laker. My wife loved the Cleveland Cavaliers. Why? Because LeBron was there. She loved the Miami Heat. Why? Because LeBron and Dwayne Wade was there. Now she almost insulted. She really don't want to cheer for the Lakers, but she had to because she wanted LeBron to win. And my wife just said, "This is blasphemy, what I'm talking about." She says it. She said, give LeBron his credit. Who would you pay to see, James Worthy or LeBron James? You would be in the minority if you said that you wanted to see James Worthy play over LeBron. You would be in the minority. I'll give you that. That is impact. I'll give you that. But please, sir, let's not get ridiculous now. James Worthy was incredible. let's I'm sorry if some folk don't know this. Let's not lose it. James Worthy was incredible. Okay, no doubt about that. He only been there 3 years. That's my only argument. He's only been in LA 3 years. You cannot dismiss these years with James Worthy, Byron Scott, Robert Ory. Oh my God. AD shouldn't even be on the list. I'm really insulted with that. The man still got his bags packed from New Orleans. He ain't even took his clothes out from New Orleans Pelicans yet. He still got some clothes in his bag. And he's on this list 1 year? Are you kidding me? Got him above Byron Scott and Robert Horry. I said, I know somebody was drinking then. I know they were drinking. I knew they were drinking. I know they were drinking. He said, what about Michael? Are you talking about Cooper? Are you talking about Michael Cooper? Michael Cooper is on this list. And I wish I could put it on Podbean. I said it before. And I'm getting ready to close it out now. But Michael Cooper is on this list, Tony. They had Michael Cooper on tier 4. And on tier 4, it was Gail Goodrich, George Mikan, Paul Gasol, and then Michael Cooper. So they have him rated as 3, 6, 9. They have Michael Cooper as the 13th greatest Laker as far as impact goes. They have him 13th behind Paul Gasol. And I guess you could say an argument really could be made off that, considering the fact that Coop got about 3 championships himself, 3 or 4 championships himself. So, that's why I say, this is all about in the eye of the beholder, to be honest with you. Championships are not everything. I'll give you that. But they do mean something. Years with the organization does mean something. And playing at a high level for those years means something too. And if that be the case, there's no way 3 years compared to James Worthy is just James. And I even throw in, Michael Cooper's been there a while and won championships. I'm not saying Michael Cooper's on LeBron James level. I'm just saying we just can't just dismiss the fact that these guys won number 1. They won the championships, and then they played at a high level all those years. It's just no way. All right, I'm done. I've stated my case. Y'all understand? I've stated my case. I've argued in court with all. And a lot of y'all was here. I mean, a lot of people may watch this by the replay. I've argued my case. I'm done. All right, I got it off my chest. I'm gonna let LeBron be great. But as a true Laker fan, the jury is still out. That's all I'm gonna say. And I understand he's gotten older, and you can't expect him to be Superman like he once was. He really still is. If the man is healthy, I mean, look, he still is the greatest player in the game. He is. He's better than Giannis. He's better than KD. He's better than Steph. He's better than Embiid. These guys. He's better than Harden, James Harden. He's better than Russell Westbrook. These are the guys who consider to be the best in the league. LeBron James healthy. he still is the best player in the game. He is. I give him that. Healthy, he's still the best. He just not the greatest, one of the greatest Lakers of all time. He ain't been that long enough. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Y'all, I'm through with it. All right, I'm through. Join me on Saturday. Join me on Saturday at 3 o'clock on Saturday. 3 o'clock on Saturday. I'll be coming with you guys Central Time. 3 o'clock Central Time. 3 o'clock Central Time on Saturday for another edition of the Big Time Show podcast. I will be with you guys. We jumping back into Cowboy talk. I got something to say on that, some more to talk about. I may have a guest with me on Saturday. Let's be prepared for that. If you got some time, come hang with me on Saturday at 3 o'clock. I will leave, listen again, and I'll close out with this. If you want to follow me, I'm on Podbean, of course, as I am right now, Google Podcast, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Tumblr. I'm on all those platforms. You can check me out. Listen, if you want to contribute to the show, if you like what I do, go to $, the Big Time Show. You can contribute that way. If you're on Podbean, you can do it by giving me those hearts that you see there. Also, you can become a patron of the show. There's a button there that says become a patron. You can do that. I really appreciate your support. I appreciate you guys lending me your ear on today. I hope I wasn't too boring. Look, one thing I'm not boring. I almost wanted to get real foolish with it, but I just kind of calmed down. Check me out on Saturday with the Cowboys talk on this Saturday at 3:30. We're going to have some fun. I'm leaving you, but as you should know by now, there is no way I can let you leave because y'all got to do a favor for me. Y'all got to do a favor for me on Podbean, okay? I'm going to leave you, and then I might talk to you at the same time. But one thing that you got to do for me, you got to do it. Those on Facebook, you already know. You can't leave me without clapping your hands. Y'all know that, right? Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I will see you guys on Saturday, 3 p.m. for one more time. You know what it is. The Big Time Show. Bobby, y'all might well come on. I need somebody. On Podbean to clap your hands. Put your hands together. Oh my goodness. Come on here. Woo! If you still hang with me, I appreciate it, Miss Ty and Tony. Listen, look, y'all about to get me fired up. Put your hands together. It is the Big Time Show. Woo! Yeah. We'll see you Saturday, 3 p.m.